Okay, now that you have learned a little bit about start, change, end diagrams, we're going to do some work here today in your journal. And these are pages 80 and 81 in your journal. And you have on page 80 a fish poster. You've got several different kinds of fish on here, and it tells you how much they weigh, and it tells you how long they are in inches. Okay, and then on page 81, there's some stories that we need to figure out what's happening in these stories. They are called fishy stories. I'm going to go ahead and read the directions. That's a great place to start. It says use the information on journal page 80 for problems 1 through 4. Do the following for each number story. Write the numbers you know in the change diagram. Write question mark for the number you need to find. Answer the question, write a number model. Okay, so we have 4 things that we need to do for each one of these. I'm going to go ahead and do number 1, and I would like you to follow along and do number 1 as I do number 1. So anything I write, I want you to write in your journal. If at any time you need me to slow down, or you need kind of like to stop this video or pause it so that you have a chance to write, just press that pause button. It's the one that looks like 2 straight lines, kind of looks like a number 11 really. Just pause it, finish writing what you need to write, and then hit play again and you can keep it going. Okay, so number 1 says this: fish J swallows fish B. So I'm going to go over here and look at my chart. Here's fish J, and he is going to swallow, I'm sorry. Here's fish J. He's going to swallow fish B. So that makes sense. Fish J is much bigger. He's going to swallow fish B. Okay? So let's look here what we have. How much does fish J weigh now? Well, we don't know for sure. Let's look at the diagram. We are starting with fish J, right? And the question is, how much does he weigh? So we need to look at the pounds that fish J weighs. So starting with fish J, how many pounds do we have? Fish J is 24 pounds, okay? Now, if he swallows another fish, he's going to have his weight plus that other fish's weight inside of his body. So he's going to get heavier, all right? So let's see how much fish B weighs. Fish B weighs 3 pounds, all right? So when fish J swallows fish B, he is going to add 3 pounds to his weight. He's going to gain 3 pounds right away. So that's how it changes. Okay, fish J changes because he adds on 3 pounds. So we know how fish J started. We know how he changed, or it changed. What we don't know, and remember the directions said to use a question mark, what we don't know is what the end is. We don't know how much fish J weighs now. Okay. Now they're asking us for an answer here, but I'm going to actually go down to the number model and get that started. That way I can start thinking about what the answer will be. All right. I can look right at my change diagram and see that's going to give me a good clue on how to start my number model. So I've got 24, which was fish J's weight, plus 3. That's how much he changed. And then we're going to have an equal sign. We'll have to try to figure that out. Now I can do that a couple of different ways. I can count up. I could use my number grid if I needed to, but I think I can pretty well count up from 24. I'm going to count on 3 more. That would be 25, 26, 27. So the answer is 27. There's no spot here for the unit, but the unit would be pounds. Okay, here's the question. How much does fish J weigh now? Answer blank pounds. So actually that answer and the unit are up above that number model. So there's our 27 and there's the unit pounds. Okay, now we have filled in everything that we need for question number 1. All right, I'm going to read over number 2, and then I want you to press pause and try to fill it in as much as you can all by yourself. Okay, and then when you're kind of stuck, or maybe it's done and you just want to make sure it's right, then you press play again to watch me fill in the answers and solve it. And then you can follow along or just check your work to see if you did it right. If you make any mistakes, go ahead and press pause and erase and get it all fixed up for me, please. Okay, so let's read it over together. Fish K swallows fish G. So I'm going to go over here and find fish K. There's fish K. Here's fish G. So fish K starts out with, he's a 35-pound fish. Fish G is a 10-pounder. Okay, so you need to find out how much fish K is going to weigh after he swallows G. Here's where you're going to put your final answer. Here's where you need your number model. Go ahead and start putting in what you think you already know. Where fish K is starting, how is it changing, and then don't forget a question mark on the part we're supposed to figure out how much he weighs now. Please press pause and start to fill in some of the answers, and then hit play when you're ready to watch me fill it in, and you can check over your work. Okay, let's see how you did here. Starting with the change diagram, I'm going to fill in what I know about fish K. He starts out as a 35-pound fish, but then he swallows fish G, who happens to be a 10-pound fish. So we're going to add on his weight because fish K is actually going to get more weight, right? So we're going to add. What I don't know is what the end is going to be, how much he'll weigh in the end. I'm going to get my number model going. 35 plus 10. And I'm pretty good at my plus 10s. I think about that number grid and I know it's 10 more is just going to be whatever's right below that 35. And of course that's going to be a 45. So fish K is going to end up being 45 pounds after he swallows fish G. Okay, so that's what your work should look like. If you need to make any fixes, press pause right now, erase that, clear it off, and make those corrections, and then press play when you're ready to continue. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Again, I'd like to do it the same way. We'll read it over together. You fill in what you think you can do. Hopefully by now it's getting just a little bit easier. And then you can follow along as I finish it up, or you can make your corrections after you have a chance to work. Okay, fish L swallows fish F. Oh, it's the big guy. Fish L is down here. Here's fish F. Fish L is a 100-pound fish. That is huge. And then he's going to swallow this 8-pound fish, okay? So how much is fish L going to weigh now that all that has happened? Fill in your change diagram. Make sure you get a number model there, including the equals, and fill in your answer. Press pause now, get that done, and press play when you are ready to continue. All right, let's see how you did. Hopefully you started off by putting 100 in the start box because that's what fish L started out as. Then he swallowed that relatively small fish compared to himself, who was an 8-pound fish. And then we really don't know. We're trying to figure out how much fish L would weigh in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and get that number model. 100. Sure wish I had just a regular marker here. It's not easy to do on this computer. 100 plus 8. That one shouldn't be too tough, right? It's just 8 steps beyond 100. That would make it 108. So fish L is going to become a 108-pound fish after he swallows fish F. How's yours look? Does it look like that? Hopefully you're finding these to be a little easier now that you've gone through them a few times. Okay, and it's just carefully reading and picking out that information and putting it where it needs to be. All right, great job. You can press stop once this has all been filled in, and we will end up doing the next page together because those are a little bit trickier, a little bit different setup, and we'll work on those together. Great job. Thanks for your listening, and see you next time.